so important, and that is this year, because of redistricting, we're in totally new districts. Kevin Rader here, who will be representing our district, has an opponent, but they're all new where we're concerned. The district we're in is an agricultural district. We need somebody to represent us who understands our problems, and that would be our insurance problems and certain of the condominium problems. We feel Rader is the best in this situation, and we would appreciate it if you would all vote the total palm card. We put an awful lot of effort into it, and at this point, at any rate, I'd like to introduce hopefully the next state representative from Century Village, if you will, Kevin Rader.
Does this work? Can everyone hear me? And can everyone see me? Good. Go on stage? Okay, I'm on the stage. It feels so impersonal. Testing, yes, it works. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for coming. I know it's a Sunday morning, and most importantly, the big tennis match is on. And when we scheduled this, we didn't really look at the Wimbledon calendar to see who was going to play. So I can tell you that my wife and I, and certainly my children, and probably a lot of people here would like to have ESPN on watching the men's final. So thank you for spending a few minutes with me. And there's a few people I want to thank here real fast before I tell you a little bit about myself. First, we're going to start off with Marvin, the president of the Democratic Club of Century Village. Thank you for that kind introduction. Thank you for endorsing my candidacy and putting me on the palm card. I know that you know both candidates and your committee, and you've discussed and decided to go with the best choice. So I thank you and your team with Stanley Siegel, who's involved with the synagogue, and Michael Lingelli, who's right here as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your help and support. Thank you to Irma. There she is. Thank you, Irma, for doing all that you do. Not only for me, but you helped the state of Florida in all your efforts, and I greatly applaud you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I look forward to even getting to know you even much better. I have a couple campaign staff here. I have Wally, who just walked outside, and I have Jordan. After I speak, and if you feel over the next few weeks you have a few extra minutes of your time during the week, if you could just let Wally or Jordan know that you have an interest in volunteering in my campaign or helping Democrats get elected, please let them know. We have a very important election cycle coming up. But most importantly, I'm going to introduce my family, who's right here in the front row. We almost hit all the tables, and that is my wife, Amy, who's right here in the front row. And as a lot of people have said, yes, she's a conservative rabbi, and I'm a former elected official, and I believe I am the first elected Rebbitzin in the United States of America. I believe. There's not a very big community, so I'm not really sure, but I believe. And I have 4 children. Come on, guys, stand up. I have Caleb, Ruby. They're very happy. They're going off to camp this week, so they're very excited. Ellie was in the play. What was the play again? Guys and Dolls this past week at her theater camp. And Ezra and Ruby are my soccer stars. So we have my family here. And you can't do this without having the greatest asset in the world, and that is your family and my wife. Without having that support staff, this would be impossible. I do want to start out by saying one important thing. That is, I am not running against Irv Schlossberg. Okay? People say, well, what's going on with Irv? Where's Irv going? Let Irv serve. In redistricting, the turnpike is the dividing line. So Irv lives east of the turnpike, and he's running east of the turnpike. So he has Kings Point, and he has all those condos east on Atlantic Avenue and in Boca. He's east of the turnpike. West of the turnpike, you are going to have a new representative. And I'm hoping that you, after this morning, after meeting me and my family and some of my campaign staff, that you will decide to vote for me and throw me your support, maybe even help me give me a little bit of time. So I'm a former representative. I represented District 78, which was Western Palm Beach County, and it was a gerrymander. It was one of those terribly gerrymandered districts going all the way up to Fort Pierce, which is an hour away if anyone's ever been there. The only reason you go to Fort Pierce for the most part is you're driving on the turnpike and you switch to 95 so you don't have to pay the toll anymore. That's really the only reason. I grew up in Orlando, Florida. My whole family's from Michigan, and my grandparents, may they rest in peace, actually today is my Grandpa Herman's birthday. He was born in 1916. He's passed away a couple years ago, but today is his birthday, July 8th. And we would drive down from Orlando, and switch over at Fort Pierce to save the money and get on 95. So I'm a former representative, and what did I do in Tallahassee? I passed the only ethics bill with Senator Dave Ehrenberg as my Senate sponsor that had tougher penalties for elected officials who broke the law. Now, Senator Ehrenberg, he's not in the primary, but he's running for your state attorney, and he's your Democratic candidate. So you will all be going out to voting for Dave Ehrenberg this November, but he's not in the August election. He's already your Democratic candidate. And Dave and I got this ethics bill passed. Another thing that I fought for, and I know education's a big issue here in the state of Florida, and it's a big issue here not only in our community, because the better your education is, the more jobs you're going to be able to create, the more businesses that are going to want to relocate here and move here. I'm a small business owner. I own an insurance agency that's in Boca Raton, and what I do every day is I try to help people with their insurance problems. And I know, believe me, I know this state, we have a lot of insurance problems, and that's why it's good, as Marvin mentioned, it's good to have someone in insurance who understands the issues before getting into office and tries to help the consumers save money or increase their coverages. Because companies like to cut your coverages and they like to raise your premiums. And you have to make them stay honest. You have to work at it, and you have to work very hard at it. And when I was in the legislature, I did a great job of doing it. Because there's a point of working with our insurance regulators and working with the legislation and working with our individual communities as well. So I have a track history of doing that. And it's also, I've also been very friendly with Irv over all these years. And Irv has said there's two things you got to worry about in our community, and I greatly agree with him. The first thing, and everyone knows this, is the seniors. Because they are our most vulnerable people. And we need to make sure that our services, that we're not cutting services to them, we're not cutting Medicaid to them, which the governor would love to do. Well, one of the reasons why I'm running for office is to go against Governor Rick Scott. Because my opponent has voted for Governor Rick Scott's education plan, giving our tax dollars to private schools and giving them a voucher, giving kids a voucher to go and go to private schools. I'm endorsed by the local Palm Beach County Classroom Teachers Association, so the teachers endorse my candidacy. The unions endorse my candidacy. The AFL-CIO has endorsed my candidacy. The Teamsters have endorsed my candidacy. So there's a lot of groups out there that have endorsed me and that believe that I'm the right person for elected office. You know what? I was walking through and I was saying hi to a lot of people, and someone mentioned, they said, Kevin, make sure you tell them where your office is going to be. See, Irv told me, Kevin, the first thing you got to do when you're running in this district is you got to go and meet Herb. Herb owns the office where Irv is, right across the street. And I called up Herb and I said, Herb, after I win, I want the same office that Irb's got at the same rent. And one of the top reasons, is because I want to be very close to Century Village and to Whisper Walk. I want to make sure that my office is open to the community, that they know where that I am, and that there's a continuity between where I am and where Irv was, and moving forward, that you have a great team to go forward with. And talking about the team, he couldn't make it this morning, but Representative Joe Abruzzo is going to be your next state senator. You're getting a new state house member, and you're going to be getting a new state senator. Right now, your state senator is Maria Sachs. And again, in redistricting, the turnpike is the dividing line, and Maria's running east of the turnpike, and Joe Abruzzo is running west. He doesn't have a Democratic opponent, so he's not on the palm card. But Joe will be having a breakfast like this probably a couple months down the road after the primary, and he'll want to meet you just as much. And I can't tell you and Marvin says it all the time, that we're a great team of Joe and Kevin. And we're going to work together in the Senate and the House to make sure that we have the best things going on here in the village and here in the community and in Palm Beach County for the residents. So in closing, I know I could go on for a long time, but one thing that I've also been taught is to keep it short and sweet. And anyone who wants to come up to me afterwards, I'll stay as long as you want to answer any questions. But what I need your help and support for August 14th. A lot of you are getting absentee ballots. If you applied for an absentee ballot, it's the easiest way to vote. The ballot comes to you in the mail. Well, you have to apply for it. It then comes to you in the mail. You fill it out. And I would believe the Democratic Club here, or my campaign, will come up and pick up the absentee ballot from you and bring it to the supervisor's office, or you can mail it in. I think the postage is $1, $1.50. But I strongly urge everyone here, if you want to absentee ballot, please talk to someone on my campaign, talk to your Democratic leaders here, because getting out to vote in the primary and the general is vastly important. So you can absentee ballot, you can vote at the library the week before August 14th. At the library at 441. That's the other place you vote. Or obviously on Election Day, you can vote on Election Day like a lot of you have. But I urge you and really hope that everyone here will vote for me on August 14th for Kevin Rader. And in that, you know what, I'll open it up for a few questions, and then I'll go around to the last of the table. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having this breakfast. Diamond Caterers, you're always great. We did my daughter's bat mitzvah at Temple Beth, if you remember. And thank you very much. Any questions, anyone? Let's get Obama elected in November. Yay! Contrary to everything you've heard, he's been very good for Israel. Extremely good. From the Iron Dome, for selling the Iron Dome missiles to Israel so they can fire down the rockets that come into southern Israel, getting steroid from the Gaza Strip. From Obama taking action immediately, rescuing Israeli diplomats in Cairo when there were tension there. Obama has been 100% behind Israel. He's been at every APAC policy conference that I have attended. So please, when you hear that rhetoric and that nonsense from Fox News and from other sources or from email, please ignore it. Barack Obama has been the greatest friend. The defense minister, Barack, the former prime minister, said that Obama has been the greatest friend of Israel of any president ever. In the back. Hey, Wally, can you go back there and just kind of ask what the question is? I can't hear you.
How come that Obama is a friend of Israel when he's the enemy of Israel?
Listen, if you want to debate this later, that's fine, but that's not, I don't believe that. The facts are against you. And again, that's, Israel is a nonpartisan issue. I would gain to say that every president that I've been around, that I've read about, has been very good on Israel issues. And this president has been just as good as anyone else that doesn't take a back seat. So, that's where I'm at. Thank you again for coming. I'm really happy that everyone's here. Enjoy the tennis match when you get back to your condos. And I look forward to saying hi to everyone. Thank you.